Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Angel from Angel Illustrations, and I'm doing a bit of a mid-season filler episode here. But not really. Obviously, with the transition of the channel to doing more marker pieces, as I've become more and more adept and in love with how markers work and the results, I thought I'd put together a little video showing my progress with the markers. So we start from point zero, where I obviously had no idea what I was doing, and really got those markers all muddled and muddied, and yeah, it didn't really come out well, but it was a great attempt. But yeah, it was really my only attempt with markers to that point. And then comes this one, most popular video on the channel, if you want to go back and look at it. It's where I sort of learned about the luminance of the markers, how you need the white of the page to properly show their coloration. So you can see there's a lot of paper breaking there. I was working on thin marker paper as well, seeing the cockling. But you can see how I was using the white of the paper to make the highlights and transitioning from there to the darker colours, and then treating it largely like watercolour at this point. It's an oddity, but as an example, an idea, an exercise, it worked. So from there I thought, screw it. So I bought the Arteza markers in the skin tone set, and just went about doing something like this. I mean, no guts, no glory, right? So yes, this was genuinely my third real attempt with markers, and by George, I think I cracked it. Again, looking at the work, I'm using a lot of white paper breaks for the highlights. I'm not muddying the colours as badly as I was. And again, using this innate colour theory that I have to just make those skin tones work. And yeah, absolutely thrilled. I know that the singer of the band has actually seen this video, and she shared it on her Patreon some time ago. So, after I've worked with colour for a bit, so let's work with greys. So this helped me learn about the tonality of the markers. Now you got blue greys, warm greys, brown greys. How do they all work together? How do you map them out? So, what better way to do it than doing the sonograph of our little boy? And yeah, this one's hanging on a wall. My wife burst into tears when she saw it. She had no idea what I was doing. And it's quite unique. I mean, how many people are going to have this sort of thing? But yeah, again, it's about learning how the markers work. I was also learning about surfaces, because the marker paper I was using was quite thin. I felt I was reaching saturation on that marker paper quite quickly. And again, still working on that marker paper, I put together this quick piece. This was reasonably just an exercise. I wanted to practice. I had no video that week, so I put this together as an exercise. It had a really nice message behind it. But you can see that my confidence with the markers was getting a lot better. There was less hesitancy. I didn't just start on a small area and build very, very slowly out. I went for it because I knew what these markers were going to do and how I was going to start working with them. And once you get that level of confidence in a material, and how to make them really work, that takes you to a point where you can start doing more ambitious pieces. So again, this is the Winsor & Newton marker paper. My only regret about the whole thing. So thin. But after a while, you outgrow mediums. But yeah, you see everything come together in here. The way I learned about the skin colours, the skin using the white of the paper, the abstract edges to suggest the edges of the frame. You don't have to fill up every inch of the paper. And then comes the tonality, the grey tones, how to use those and meld those together. And yeah, I absolutely love this piece because there's nothing like it in my entire portfolio, and that my portfolio is going back nearly 22 years now, and that's important. But this also enabled me to work with other materials, so I learned how coloured pencil can be used to soften some of these transitions, and it became important quite late in my newer pieces where I am combining materials. Again, the thinner paper, it was a tonality exercise, and this is probably where my current insanity obsession began. I just had this idea of this duality piece. It'd been in my head for years, I just never got to do it, and then I had some free time, and out this came. In a remarkably abstract way. I don't know what's going on or why it's led to the pieces that came after it, but doing the whole thing in grey tones, my only regret is the paper, but this is probably the last time I use this paper to create a full production piece. Then switch to Kenson's The Wall, which is phenomenal paper. Oh, Inktober. Yeah, just playing, recreating work from my misspent youth. It's more an exercise, an example of blending than anything else. And yeah, that's oh, the one image that I could have done better with these markers, and it's more because of my second guessing myself. Yeah, I really wanted this to be black and grey, but something that just stopped it, and I do regret colouring it in afterwards because it looks so much better with black and grey. Yeah, an artist of 20 plus years, I still second guess myself and still have my doubts about my own work, and I'm never going to get away from that. But it sort of helped develop some of the pieces that came after it. Some of the techniques I used in the background and the shapes of the hair became a feature of future pieces. And we go and jump from there into the colour. And yeah, I still regret, because the colour didn't overlay the grey as well as I wanted it to, and it looks, it's back to that muddy point. I might even redo this piece again, because I think it does look better as a black and grey piece. Oh, me showing off some difference in paper. Obviously, these are all taken from my original YouTube videos. If you want to go see them in full, then yeah, the links are lurking in the background. Yeah. Should have kept that as grey. Really should have kept that as grey. And possibly only the real... I'm not going to say practice piece, because I just wanted to do quick studies, and using markers were ideal ways of making those quick pieces. Just working in my Moleskine sketchbook. Yeah, there's not much I can say about this. But you can see the multimedia... Yeah, I suppose that's the right word. The multi-material. Mixed media, that's the word. Mixed media. Approach that started to develop into my work with markers. Not because of the limitation of markers, but because I just like the way it looks. It enhances everything and gives that little bit more pop. Yeah, tiny little piece. Here we go. So here we are with one of the most ambitious pieces. And yeah, mixed media. And this showed the full extent of where I was taking the markers and how I was learning to use those. And by God, this piece, I'm so proud of it. The depth of the detail in the fibrous webbing, the marks on the face, the skin tones, just literally just pushing everything as far as I could and combining all the materials and media that I really enjoy working with. And I adore this piece. It is one of the crowning points of my portfolio, because I'll very much doubt I can do better than this. And that's me speaking. So in 12 months' time, I will probably do better than this. But yeah. But taking that mixed media point and jumping, taking that whole... Yes, this is what markers can do. This is the look I can get out of markers. But what happens when I put colour over those markers? What happens when I apply a coloured pencil or work with a bizarre tone and then build up from there? I mean, the purple, it's become a strange technique of mine, but to put a purple behind certain colours to make it glow. You really are starting to see how I'm enhancing and deepening the skin and textures and tones, not just in the skin, but in the background. There are so many elements that aren't being picked up on the video that, if you see this in person, would be boggling for you. And it's just... everything is reaching a crescendo now. And it's the image I released 2 weeks ago. And again, you're seeing the accumulation of all the previous images. I don't practice with markers outside these videos. What you see in the videos is me just grabbing the marker and seeing what happens. It's muck around and find out. Except I don't say muck most of the time. And because I have this weird way of learning and sort of osmosing from other videos, I just take it on board and work from there. There's so many artists in this piece, as well as myself. And there's that purple tone again. That this is why markers have become my favoured tool. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on because, my god, it's nearly 15 minutes in and I'm still talking. But hopefully you can see that how I've taken a media that I was quite new to 2 years ago and started to bend it to my will and create these works that are so full of me. Have a bonus kitten. Not many people saw this bonus kitten. She's lovely, that's Boo. She's crazy. But hey, this is what we do. This is how we progress. The next piece, that's going to be markers. But markers, coloured pencil, and gouache paint, as well as acrylic inks. And you're going to see a whole lot more mixed media coming in, and a whole lot more twisted weirdness. And to that end, I have to say good night. You know the deal by now. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Regular scheduled programming will be resumed. And yeah, if you have any doubts, just watch this video and see what you can actually do. Take it easy.